Hi, this is Corina Angela, and thank you so much for listening today. I wanted to share a little reading from my book, Transference, Connect to Your Soul Self, and wrote this back in 2019 with Edgar Cayce and Gladys Davis Turner. And it's here, right here. Da, da, da. Um, and I'll leave the link in the description and in the comments if you'd like to purchase it. It's on Amazon. So I really wanted a deep dive into telepathy and channeling and trusting what you're hearing and what you're seeing and what you're noticing all around you. I think now more than ever is really tapping into the discernment of, your own barometer, right? What is it that you're feeling? What is it that you're seeing? What is it that you're hearing? Um, all of these things, because I think it's so important now to trust yourself more than ever. I've been on this journey for a very long time, and when Edgar Cayce came through, I really needed to deep dive into what I was receiving. When I realized it was Edgar Cayce and not knowing a lot about him, I was like, is this really happening? What is happening? Writing this book has been a step-by-step process for me that started in 2019. And I needed to, for myself, open up my heart and really trust myself like I've never trusted myself before. So maybe some tools and tips in this video that I will share today is really, honing in on your amazing abilities. We all have amazing abilities, right? And it's up to you to pick and choose what you want to focus in on and what you want to expand upon. And what are you really curious about? What lights you up? Not, somebody else or somebody else's video that they're doing their thing, what really lights you up? What would you like to explore? What would you like to expand upon, right? For me, I was very clear that I was so incredibly curious of like what the heck was going on, right? It's like I've been an automatic writer for a very long time, since I was 7. And, exploring this with Edgar and Gladys, like who they were and why was I hearing certain things and why were they sharing certain things with me? You know, and I just kept on going deeper and deeper and deeper, asking the questions for myself, asking them questions, and with an open heart and without ego and without the filters. I just listened and wrote and let my curiosity run away out into the abyss because my insatiable curiosity is always to learn. I always want to learn. I'm a forever learner, and that excites me. I get bored very easily. I just, in the loopy loop and been there, done that. It's like, okay, next, next. So that's me. I want to better myself. I want to learn more. I would love to hear more and experience more, right? So, to take a deep dive in for yourself of, where you're at and what do you want to explore and what do you want to expand upon. There's been a lot of talk about the telepathy tapes, and I'm so excited. And writing this book in 2019, Edgar talked all about telepathy and the children in 2019. And this is in entry number 4 called Telepathy. And, I didn't this is entry 4, and it was written on April 2nd, 2019. So Edgar would give me the title of every entry and a quote, and he always, write down the time and the start time and the end time, all of those things. And that was the whole process throughout the book. But when he started deep diving into the children and telepathy and how important it is to create a space for them to understand them more in a different way. And he was all talking about the nonverbal. So if you haven't listened to the telepathy tapes, please do so because they're just magnificent and it opens up your mind. It opens up your heart in many, many different ways. And I'll leave a link for the telepathy tapes. And I just think it's so important that we deep dive into how can we listen more? How can we trust ourselves more? I really believe that, if I wasn't listening and excuse me, asking the questions with Edgar and Gladys, I would have missed out on so much truth, and missed out on my learning process and my understanding, in many different areas, a deeper level. And when he talked about, I'll read a little bit about this, because I feel it's just so important how we can open up more and more. This is almost what, 6 years ago, and I I wasn't even doing research. I wasn't even focused in on telepathy. I think the word alone is a little off-putting for some, but telepathy is it's just a form of communication. That's all it is. It's for the non-verbal speakers, for severely autistic children and adults, they're in their brain, they're just highlighting a different way to communicate. Some do it with body language. If they are unable to speak, it's body language. If they're unable to speak, it's through telepathy, a different way of communicating. It's if you scan their brain, a portion of their brain would be highlighted because that's their form of communication, right? And the same with blind people. Their, ultra senses, their surroundings are heightened. Their hearing is heightened. So again, if you scan their brain, they would be highlighted in that area. It's just a muscle that is built up over time. And we all can learn telepathy. And perhaps you already, doing it, you're not even realizing that you're actually doing it. That's the beauty of the telepathy tapes. It's just not about, the nonverbal communication, which is fantastic and so eye-opening. It goes deeper than that. It's just, it makes you go, oh, wow. Thinking about your past or what you do now, it starts connecting the dots in many different ways. And I believe these telepathy tapes are really connecting more and more dots for all of us, even for the speakers that, we know how to speak, but also it's lighting up many, many different areas within ourselves and our lives, and just having a deeper appreciation for the non-speakers of the world, and to honor them and cherish them and know that they are so incredibly brilliant in different ways. Just because they can't speak or they stutter or it takes them a very long time to get out a sentence, to for us to have that compassion and empathy and to open up our hearts even more so to be more patient and kind and courteous, and to offer them that space, that honor, and and to really see them in a different way and to understand them in a different way. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that because I think it's just so prevalent right here and right now in 2025 to open up our hearts more and to understand more authentically and with an open heart and um, really show our compassion in ways that we've never shown compassion. So I'll just read a little bit that's here in my book. And for those that have read it, I'm so excited and I'm so happy that you purchased it and really utilize this book. It's an incredible resource that opens up so many gateways within your life, your heart, your soul, your mind, and your body. And it's just filled with so much incredible information. And yeah, so enjoy. So telepathy, entry four, and I'll just dive into the Q&A. So question and answers. CA, Corina Angela, what is telepathy? EC, Edgar Cayce. It's a stream of consciousness in the ebb and the flow, back and forth within the mind's eye. Dialoguing, communication in the flow. It depends upon what frequency, vibration the other person is experiencing. A solid matter of streaming consciousness. So, what Edgar is explaining here is it is the ebb and the flow. It depends upon the frequency that you are connected into. Meaning, if you're not, verbal, let's say, you're tapping into the part of your heart and your brain where you're streamlining a frequency of connection, a frequency of, you could say channeling, you could say receiving, you can say, I like to think of it as just like a dial on your radio. Well, not a radio, but you know what I mean? Like back in the day, dial on whatever, you're dialing into, number two or number three, number four, and you're tapped into that frequency. So it's a streamline of frequency, and it's a laser, and it's very, very clear. So these savants, these non-verbal children and adults, that's what they're doing. They're just tapping in to a clear channel for themselves, right? A clear, number on the dial, number four, ooh, boom, got it. And that's how they communicate. Um, and so Edgar's, describing it's based on the frequency. It's based on that vibration that we're tapping into. Okay. CA, I understand. And the more you use it, the stronger it gets. So now I'm confirming, like, yeah, that's what we're doing here. I'm tapping into, the channel of communicating with Edgar and Gladys. This is what I'm tapped into. It's very free flowing. It's very clear. It's very precise. And it's just like I'm communicating right here, right now. And this is what we are doing. And I'm just writing it down as we're communicating to create this book. EC, precisely. Children with telepathy are very, very important to connect with and to teach how to hone in on their gifts early in life. So he's really explaining and tapping into children with telepathy, children with nonverbal skills are, it's so important to catch it when they're young and to really help them hone in on their gifts. And he's calling it their gifts. That's their gift, their ability to build up that strength, that trust, that honor, that communication, that channel, that open channel to strengthen. And he goes on to say, to allow them to be heard. and to better understand their way of being. So Edgar right here is being very precise and explaining how it is that we can help them early on in life when they are children. And if they're nonverbal, or if they stutter, or if they struggle with getting their words out, to help them be heard in a different way and to better understand their way of being. So it's showing them compassion. It's showing them honor and strength and trusting that they do have something amazing to tell us and to share with us. And it's up to us to find these ways to communicate with them in a variety of different ways, right? This builds up courage, strength, and confidence within them. Most of all, the connections with others who understand them will enable them to not feel so isolated in the world. So Edgar's really explaining, most of all, have these connections, building up these connections with these savants, with these nonverbal children, that in order to, as we connect in different ways, they won't feel so isolated. They won't feel so alone. They'll be able to trust more and more their amazing abilities, right? And we're going to feel so amazing because we're connecting on different levels with them. So, CA, this seems very natural to me. Why is there so much resistance then? So I'm asking, I'm like, okay, so we're doing telepathy here, right? I'm connecting with Edgar and Gladys on a daily basis here, writing these books for them. Why is it so easy? I'm trying to have a deeper understanding of why is it so easy? What's happening here? Can everybody do this? And I'm finding more and more people can do this, right? And maybe you've done this all along and you're just, not quite sure what to call it, So again, it's opening up a broader spectrum here. EC, there are many children with resistance who are seen as different in the world. So parents, parents are resisting because they're not understanding why their child is not talking, and why if they're, typing out things on the teleprompt or their device that they're communicating through, why are they, telling us all these amazing messages? And again, I'm referencing the telepathy tapes because it's just a different way of communicating. And all along they've communicated that way, but they've been unable to speak. So they're finding different ways to communicate with you. And us as parents or teachers or supporters, we have the wonderful responsibility of that navigation of like, ooh, what other ways, can they write something? Are they able to hold a pencil? Are they able to write something? Are they able to communicate through their phone or videos or visuals or, all of these things? So we get to brainstorm like, ooh, how can we better communicate with them in a variety of different ways? EC. So this is still Edgar. Sorry, I start interjecting because I get so I'm just so enamored with this work, and I'm so excited that this is all becoming more mainstream now, and I'm just thrilled. Um, the difference is their brilliance. So Edgar's saying, they have a different brilliance, and we get to recognize it and work with it and help them shine. We are to work with children with second sight and to help them evolve into their wisdom. So Edgar is really honing in on work with their third eye. That's their second sight. So he's referencing their second sight is their intuitive abilities, their channeling abilities, their psychic abilities, their seeing abilities in different ways with their third eye, and to help them evolve with their wisdom because they are brilliant in different ways, right? Working with these children needs to evolve. And here he's saying this, in 2019, and here we are in 2025, and it is evolving. And these telepathy tapes are, everywhere. They're just everywhere, and you hear about them more and more. And it's just so exciting because this is happening now. It is coming into fruition. Sorry. Whew. I just got a wave of like, Edgar's so happy, and Gladys is so happy that this is evolving and it's here and now. So, oh, sorry. Um, so this is what happens for me. I get incredibly emotional because I can feel their happiness. I can feel their joy, and it's like wanting to, jump up all around because they're so elated that this is coming to the forefront, and this is happening right here and right now for all of us to witness and to experience. A different structure, a curriculum, and attention to energy in these unique schools. It is a different way of learning. This will evolve. And it is evolving. So he's referencing a structure, a different structure, a different way of communicating with these children, with these nonverbal, with telepathy, people that are telepathic. The structure is evolving. The curriculum is evolving. The attention to this energy in these unique schools are evolving. And he's referencing unique schools. Different schools are going to be created. They are being created. Different curriculum, a different way of learning for these amazing children. It is a different way of learning. This will evolve. So he's referencing this will evolve, and it is evolving, and it's really exciting. CA, I agree. It is so important for the evolution of our planet here, and I hope this will evolve soon. And it is. So, yeah. EC, yes, and that is it for now. CA, thank you, Edgar. Thank you. So I just wanted to share that today. It goes on and continues, but I just really, really wanted to share that today and how better can we support the telepathy tapes, and how better can we help and support the savants and the nonverbal speakers of the world, and how can we support other telepathic people that are already doing it or wanting to learn, right? So all of this is evolving. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave here in the comment section. I would love to hear your feedback and, yeah, any questions that you have. And so I'll just leave you with, how better can we support ourselves and trust ourselves in order to support others with telepathy and non-verbal skills, and people that can't see or can't walk or all these things that we are diving into. We're becoming more present, and we're becoming more compassionate and more accepting of other people's brilliance, because we're all brilliant in different ways. Thank you so much. I'm Corina Angela, and thank you for listening today. Thank you.